So, hello guys, and thank you for tuning in. So, I have one of my friends and colleagues, the beautiful Jayne, who is a naturopathic nutritional therapist, and she's actually my nutritional therapist as well. So, which is why I wanted to invite her and join her to do this little Zoom interview. So she's trained at the prestigious C&M College. She's been working as a nutritional therapist for 6-7 years, and she is currently specialising in things like chronic fatigue, ME, and fibromyalgia. So, which is fantastic for all those people to get hold of Jayne, which we'll tell you about at the end how you can get hold of Jayne. So I thought, yeah, thank you for joining me, Jayne. And I thought I thought we could start off with just going through, what is nutrition, what is good nutrition, and why the hell should we bother about talking about it, and maybe even why you wanted to get into it as well. So tell me a little bit more.
Well, my passion came from my mum being quite poorly. She had metabolic syndrome, she had breast cancer, she had angina, she had diabetes, and I couldn't sit back. I just really wanted to help her, and so I started on this mission of research, and then that led to this 3-year diploma at C&M College. So there was my passion, and I do help on a regular basis. So she doesn't always want the help, bless her, but I'm like, well, what are you eating that for?
We love families, don't we?
I know, it's like with family, don't you? So, I mean, good nutrition, really, you are what you eat, basically, what you put in feeds your cells, feeds every single cell in your body. And unless you feed it with good things and nutrients, it's going to let you down eventually, So, it's all about eat the rainbow. That's what I say to my clients. Lots of brightly coloured vegetables, and, some that you haven't eaten before. If you're going shopping, just have a look at your basket and just think, oh, there's red pepper there, there's some tomatoes, there's a nice big green cabbage, lots of different colours, something yellow, basically eat the rainbow. That's what you want to be looking at your plate and thinking, oh, yes, that looks nice and colourful. And that's what your body really loves, and it will thank you for it. And also you are what you digest as well. So, if you're putting things that your body doesn't particularly like maybe gluten, for instance, not everybody's intolerant to gluten, but some people are. So if you're putting that in your body and your body is saying, no, I don't really like this, I'm not going to digest that, it's going to stop other nutrients and nice things digesting as well. So, you need to watch what you put in your body and just be good to yourself, really.
Yeah, no, I love it. And a phrase that I sometimes love saying is, if you've got this really expensive posh car, most people then would be putting in the most expensive fuel in it because they want to preserve it and keep it going. And we don't always think about it, that it's the same for us human beings.
I know, and you've got to live in this body.
And I think for the rainbow stuff, especially right now, you can't always get everything you're wanting in the supermarkets and stuff. You sometimes just have to look to see what is out there, right?
You do.
You're like,
absolutely.
Oh, well, I'll have to find something new to cook with. Okay,
exactly.
Great. So, nutrition is obviously hugely important. As you said, it literally makes up every cell in our body. It's the building blocks for how our body works. How, especially in the current situation, how would we try and optimize it as much as possible? What would you be saying we want to be doing nutritional wise to have us as a potential host for a virus, or to keep it away? How would you what would you recommend to optimize our health and well-being through nutrition?
Well, I think the main thing is, especially now we've got all this time on our hands, haven't we? Is to chew, chew, chew. You've got to chew your food very slowly, because what happens is when your food enters your mouth, that sends a little message down the vagus nerve, down the back, and it starts off all your digestion juices going. The first port of sort of digestion is in the mouth. So the saliva and the digestive juices there will start to break down that. So the more you can break down that in your mouth, the less work it will have when it hits your stomach. So you'll feel better. You'll get a lot less wind and flatulence, which I know a lot of people do suffer with. So that's the main thing, you know. And when you're eating, sit down. You've got to sit down, and don't sit down in front of the news, especially the news at the moment. I mean, it's all so scary, and oh my
Not
God,
going to help the vagus nerve watching all that news.
it's
All
not
that
going to help your digestion at all, because basically what it does, it tips you over into your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight stage. And in that, so back in the day when you were faced with a lion or a tiger and you used to run away, everything is concentrated on your big muscles. So your eyes dilate, your all the muscle runs to your legs, and in order for you to leg it, basically. But unfortunately, everything else slows down. So all your digestion and your juices being sort of let out in your stomach and things like that, all that slows down. And that's what's happening, basically. You're seeing this threat on the TV, and everything is slowing down. So if you sit at a table and you have one mouth with the family, which is nice, have one mouthful, put your knife and fork down and just push the plate away and chew that food until it's gone, and until it's a liquid if you can, and until that's completely gone. Then, only then, pull the plate near you, cut up the next bit and eat that. And if you do that, you will absorb all your nutrients in that dish.
I think that's like the best tip ever. I've got to be honest. It's free, it's fairly easy, and you said we've got a lot of time now that we could be doing this, and it's something that I definitely am going to do more of, because I haven't been as good. I've been a lot better with the things you have recommended to me in the past, but actually that's one I haven't done. So fantastic. Any other
another
tips?
Another great tip is, if you're rushing around and you just stop and you go to eat, which is the worst thing you can do, just sit there and do 10 really deep breaths. I know you had your friend on yesterday who did the breathing work, Charlie, is it? If you do 10 deep breaths in and a longer breath out, and you just sit there and you do 10 of those, what you'll find, if you do have a Fitbit, that your heart rate will go down to almost its resting, and you can check it. You can actually check it. And that's the sort of state you want to be in when you're eating. You want to be relaxed. You don't want to be rushing around, popping food in, again, because you're in the flight or fight mood. So what happens then is you've got all this cortisol running around your body. And that cortisol then has got nowhere to go. So it generally can sit around the waistline, because if it's got nowhere to go. So this is where some people can end up with like an apple shape, you know, because it's around this waistline. There are also other issues to that as well, but it is one of the major issues. So these 10 deep breaths, it's a really good idea, and it just brings everything back down to a level where it should be for eating, really.
Nice. Great. I think people don't realize that how, not just what they're eating, but also how they're eating and what state their body is in to then receive that food could could vary hugely depending on if you're sympathetic or parasympathetic, which is interesting because with Charlie, we were also chatting a little bit about how to get our bodies away from sympathetics into parasympathetics, one being the breath. So that's great, Jayne. Any other top tips? So we've got, let's just recap, we've got chewing and posture and getting your body ready to accept food. We've got eat the rainbow, you did say that also. And have you got a third one for us?
Just make sure that your plate, half of it is vegetables. You know, you can have a quarter of it with protein and a quarter of it with carbohydrates, you know, some nice brown rice or potatoes, but half of that should either be vegetables or salad, if you can. And obviously, if you get the nice and brightly coloured, that would be better.
And last night, this is what we did. We had some salmon and we had loads and loads of salad. And I looked at my plate and I was like, I can't finish this. This looked so much salad. And actually, it's really easy to eat. And actually, it comes to very, very little, really. But I did look at my plate going, I don't know if I can finish my plate. But I did. It was fine. So that's great. So we've got 3 top tips for everyone to get good nutrition, to optimize their health, and to be the best version, you know, as possible, to be that most expensive posh car that we really treat well. So if people want to find out more about you, where would you tell them to go and find you?
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Nutrition Reach. I've got a website, reachfornutrition.co.uk. I've got, I'm on Twitter as well.
And on Facebook.
And on Facebook, I'm also writing a ebook at the moment about immune boosting. So that will probably come out in a week's time. So check that out, and that'll be lots of interesting tips and bits and pieces to improve your immune system,
which at the moment is so important.
Exactly. And I do regular blogs on the Reach for Nutrition website and Insta. So if you want to catch up with all the bits and pieces, then and recipes.
Well, Jayne, because I see some of those.
Yes, and at the moment I am eating weeds because they're free. It's a free meal, and everybody's struggling food, you know, wise. So I'm doing lots of recipes that are weeds. You know, it's there. It's just there, free. You can just pick it.
And doing free gardening at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay, great. And I know with our clients, but you're offering it out to everyone else, that you do a 10-minute complimentary consultation just to chat about that person's needs and whether you would be a good fit for each other, and whether it's something a nutritional therapist would be able to work with.
Yes, absolutely. So that is anytime. And you can email me if you've got any questions about this or anything else, and I'll be happy to answer that as well.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Jayne. One, it's obviously a pleasure hanging out with you, and you can all see that she's absolutely gorgeous, and when she comes into the clinic she's like, stunning. Sure, it's nutritional, you know, things that are really good for that. And if there's anyone's got any questions or queries, or they want us to do another, you know, of one of these video interviews, just let us know, because we love Jayne and I love hanging out. So thank you so much. Bye everyone.
Bye.